What's your relationship between writing? How do you go about? Do you write a lot first and then edit, or do you edit as you go along? You said you sometimes look over your previous day's writing before you start writing again. Do you edit when you read, or do you just leave it and carry on and then edit later?
Yes, I mean, there's no sense that I feel it has to be perfect. I don't edit because I think that's the final draft. If I go back to it the next morning, it might just be that I have to read it again to remember what on earth it was I was writing about. So it might just be a prompt, and as I'm reading, I might think, ooh, that sentence needs changing. So I might edit as I go, just because I'm working out how to articulate it slightly better, and it might go through lots and lots of editing. But I tend to probably a bit of a mixture, really. I remind myself of what I've said, but I try not to get stuck in that and what I've previously written, and maybe kind of read it through, or start a paragraph back or a few paragraphs back and then carry on. So I don't always start at the beginning again. And often the things that we're writing, or I'm writing, sometimes they're 6,000 words long, sometimes they're 10,000 words long, sometimes it's a book, of 80,000 words, and so you've got to let go of things at a certain point in time. How about you, Brian?
Yeah, I do sometimes fall into the trap of editing as I'm going along, and that's to be avoided, I think, as much as you possibly can. Yeah, I know another colleague, kind of Arthur Bradley. He writes incredibly slowly, and I think he would kind of think about 400 or 500 words in a day is really good going. And I think it's because he's kind of polishing as he's going along, and so he doesn't necessarily need to go back that much and re-edit, because he's kind of working very meticulously. And I don't really work that way at all, actually. I mean, kind of, if I can write several thousand words in a day, I think that's good. I can get into a kind of a groove with it. The problem is, for me, is that I hate editing my own words. Especially my critical writing. I don't mind doing it with creative stuff at all, but my critical writing, I kind of get absolutely sick and tired of my own voice. Especially if there's an editorial process for a journal or a book collection or something, and you have to look at several different edits and go round and round and round with it, and just by the end of it, you're just so bored of your own headspace that that's a terrible cross that you have to kind of bear, unfortunately, for that kind of writing. But no, I suppose these days I try to write as close to first draft as I can in the initial draft, as close to final draft as I can, and so the editing process therefore should be smoother and less problematic for me before I send it off for somebody else to look at. I suppose that's what I try to do, because I just find it going over and over my own words. I just kind of yeah, bath emoticon, yeah.